It began with an error. Or so the United Earth Council believed when a rotating cylinder of obsidian and gold appeared in lunar orbit, humming with unreadable energy. After 3 days of failed contact attempts, it cracked open like an egg and projected a shimmering glyph into space, a glyph soon translated by linguists and quantum AI. An invitation. The Galactic Compact was summoning the newest sentient species to the Deathworld Summit, a gathering held once every 20 galactic cycles. It was an event reserved for species hailing from planets classified as Extreme Hostility Class V or higher, worlds so deadly that most Compact members used them only as penal colonies or scientific outposts. Earth, as it turned out, was one such world. Commander Maya Rennick leaned against the alloy railing of the orbital shuttle Artemis Ascendant, arms folded. "So let me get this straight," she said, voice edged with her trademark sarcasm. They took one look at Earth's ecosystem: superstorms, apex predators, constant warfare, a planet that tries to kill its residents every few years, and said, "Yeah, let's invite them to the party." "Technically," replied Dr. Elias Kwan, nose buried in a tablet, "they classified us as Class 6A due to microbial diversity and socio-political volatility. Apparently, no other sapient species evolved under the triple threat of planetary instability, intraspecies competition, and memes." Maya snorted. "I bet it was the memes." The Artemis coasted toward the summit's location, Chokthoruk Station, a gravity-anchored structure built within the Roche limit of a black hole named the Maw of Eternity. The view from the porthole was surreal. Vast spires spun slowly around a glowing accretion disk. Other shuttles docked around them, some needle-shaped, others resembling living creatures or organic coral. Humans were late. Fashionably, they hoped. Inside the docking bay, Ambassador Sophia Ndour adjusted the lapel of her pressure-sealed diplomatic coat. Regal, composed, and precise, Sophia exuded calm confidence. "We are not here to impress them with technology. We are here to survive their politics. Remember, we were invited as guests, not equals." Sergeant Owen Rourke shifted uncomfortably in his exo-armored uniform. "That's a polite way of saying they think we're a joke. Look at the new death apes, let's see if they bite." Maya gave him a sideways glance. "We bite." Arrival. They were escorted into the summit hall, a living biome shaped like an inverted dome. Gravity fluctuated subtly beneath their feet as the ecosystem shifted to accommodate new entrants. Seated along the perimeter were beings that defied easy description: an acidic gas breather encased in magnetized glass, a quadruped covered in flexible bone plates, a hive of sentient fungus wearing a humanoid exosuit for diplomatic purposes. The humans stood out. Not because they were the most bizarre but because they were the most normal. A hush fell as a figure descended from the upper level. Massive and reptilian, it walked with the poise of a predator and the precision of a war machine. Its scales shimmered with iridescent patterns denoting rank and lineage. Voraka, commander of the Shar Collective, addressed the room. "Delegates of the Deathworld Summit, we are honored by your presence. Today we welcome a new species to our gathering, one recently recognized by the Compact for surviving on a planet of chaos and hostility." He turned his gaze on the humans. "Homo sapiens. You are the first sentients to evolve with no exoskeletal armor, no natural poisons, no telepathy, no genetic memory. And yet, you have left your planet. You have killed your gods. You have put machines in the sky and called them stars." "Fascinating." Rourke leaned toward Maya. "Was that a compliment or a threat?" "Both," she whispered. The first clash. After a brief recess, the humans were escorted to their quarters, Spartan but laced with subtle monitoring devices. Sophia ordered them disabled within minutes. Kwan marveled at the plant-based neural mesh woven into the walls, while Rourke tested door seals for ambush points. Later that cycle, they were summoned to the introduction of Worth. It sounded ceremonial, until they arrived in a dome filled with glowing hazard icons and a circle of alien observers. A new figure approached, slender and insectoid, chittering in a synthesized voice. "I am Ziktch of the VAR, facilitator of the trials." It is tradition that all new delegates prove their classification through performance in designated tests. Physical endurance, biological adaptability, and strategic cognition. The humans shall now compete. Maya frowned. We weren't informed of this. Voraka interjected from the observation level. If you are what your classification suggests, you will prevail. Or die trying, Rourke muttered. Quan blinked. Wait, are we seriously doing this? Yes, Sophia said, calm but sharp. And we're going to win. Preparation. Back in their quarters, the team debated the sudden escalation. We're being tested, Maya said, pacing. Not just in the trials. This is political theater. Half of them probably think we'll die. The other half want us to. I've seen this kind of move in jungle diplomacy, Sophia added. If we back down, we're prey. If we show strength, we become threats. So we walk a knife's edge. Great, Rourke grunted. Knives I can handle. Quan looked up from his notes. The trials are designed to reflect their assumptions about what a Deathworlder is. Strength, resistance, combat prowess. But that's not what defines humans. No, Maya asked. Quan grinned. It's adaptability. Improvisation. Chaos. Maya's lips curved into a slow smile. Then let's be very, very human. Emotional/thematic beats. That night, as they prepared for the first trial, each team member wrestled with the weight of representing their species. The awe of alien civilization was giving way to the gnawing pressure of expectation. Maya sat alone in the observation garden, staring at the distant black hole's light-bent halo. In its presence, her doubts felt both trivial and enormous. Quan catalogued samples he'd collected already, watching microbial patterns morph in ways his training barely understood. Rourke cleaned his sidearm with methodical precision, even knowing it would be banned in the arena. Sophia composed messages to Earth, recording 2 versions. One for victory, one for failure. Closing scene. At dawn cycle, the humans stepped into the first arena. The alien crowd murmured in ultrasonic waves, electromagnetic pulses, and pheromone clouds. The trial dome sealed behind them. A voice boomed. Initiate Trial 1. The Maw's Labyrinth. Gravity variance commencing. Structural instability, rising. Survival time 20 minutes. Begin. The floor dropped. Maya grinned as she fell. Time to show them what Earthborn means. The air inside the trial dome crackled with tension and the faint scent of ionized gas. Maya's boots hit the uneven floor as the gravity fluctuated again, a slow, heavy press pushing her toward the chamber's far wall. Around her, the alien crowd's whispers echoed in strange frequencies she couldn't quite parse, but their unease was unmistakable. The Maw's Labyrinth was no ordinary test. It was a simulation chamber designed to mimic the chaotic gravitational fluctuations near the black hole surrounding Chokthoruk Station. Walls and floors shifted unpredictably, gravity intensified and lessened, and unseen traps tested reflexes and adaptation. Trial 1. The Maw's Labyrinth. The humans weren't given time to prepare. The floor beneath their feet slid and dropped as if alive, a dangerous carousel of angular surfaces. The goal was simple yet deadly. Survive 20 minutes and reach the central beacon without succumbing to crushing gravity or falling into sudden voids. Maya's military training kicked in instantly. Rourke, eyes on the shifting walls. Quan, watch the microbial flora. We might need a quick remedy if this environment scrapes us raw. Rourke grunted his acknowledgement, muscles coiled like a predator ready to spring. They moved as a unit, fluid, adaptable but cautious. The alien observers expected panic, chaos, and swift failure. What they got was something else entirely. Maya noticed that the gravity shifts followed a pattern, subtle pulses that resembled the black hole's tidal forces. She directed Rourke to use the chamber's angles to their advantage. If we time our moves with the shifts, we can conserve energy and avoid the worst impacts. The others followed her lead. Quan, fascinated despite the danger, touched a patch of glowing moss growing in a corner. These microbes secrete an acid-resistant enzyme. If we coat ourselves. Don't think. Do. Maya snapped, grabbing fragments of moss and rubbing them on their sleeves. Rourke almost sneered. That's a jungle trick, not space science. But soon, as acid droplets hissed down in one section of the labyrinth, the moss proved their savior. They slipped past the acidic mist unscathed, much to the silent shock of the observers. Character development, Maya's leadership and Quan's curiosity. Throughout the labyrinth, Maya's calm decisiveness earned her grudging respect. She was no alien strategist but understood physical laws better than most species present. Gravity isn't a puzzle, she muttered as they navigated a tilted platform. It's a rule. Break it wrong and you die. Quan meanwhile recorded samples and data, whispering excitedly about extremophiles and microbial defense mechanisms. If Earth's microorganisms evolved with us, they could be the real reason we survive. Rourke was pragmatic. All well and good, but it's trust in each other that keeps us alive. That trust was tested when an unstable floor section gave way beneath Quan, plunging him into a pit of bioluminescent fungi and aggressive spores. Hold on! Maya shouted, catching his hand with a strength that surprised even her. Rourke covered their retreat, firing warning shots into the air, just enough to deter the spore creatures without escalating conflict. Trial 2. The biological gauntlet. No sooner had they escaped the gravity maze than the dome's atmosphere shifted. The air thickened, then became poisonous. They were moved into a chamber resembling a dying jungle. Acid rain, fungal spores, and predatory microbes. Here the test was clear. Survive biological assault with no external aid. Quan took the lead. Everyone seal your helmets. But breathe slow and steady. Earth's immune systems are built for this chaos. Remember, the microflora inside us isn't just a passenger. It's a shield. They moved forward, heads down, instincts sharp. Quan crushed and applied moss again, this time mixing it with fragments of an earth antibiotic synthesized on the fly. Rourke cursed as a spore burst near his faceplate, but Maya calmly wiped his visor clear. Alien observers blinked in surprise. A species with no natural venom or acid resistance was thriving here, improvising remedies on the fly. Strategic thinking and adaptability. The aliens expected brute force or specialized defenses. Instead, the humans demonstrated flexibility, lateral thinking, and team cohesion. The final biological hazard was a massive fungal queen, a pulsating mass releasing toxic spores and bioelectric pulses. Maya ordered a retreat, but Quan identified a weak point. The queen's pulse frequency had a lull every 30 seconds. Using hand signals, the humans synchronized a dash past the queen's defenses, a move that startled the crowd. Unpredictability, Maya explained afterward, breathing hard. They script rules. We write new ones. Trial 3. The Tactical Maze. The last trial was a mental and physical gauntlet, a holographic battlefield with shifting terrain and multiple enemy species. Each team had to command their avatars, strategize, and secure the flag, a data core hidden in a volatile zone. The aliens saw the humans as underdogs and expected a quick defeat. But Maya's squad did the unexpected. Instead of head-on confrontation, they set traps, used terrain to their advantage, and exploited enemy rivalries. Rourke relished playing guerrilla commander, baiting stronger foes into ambushes and retreating before counterattack. Sophia's diplomatic skills came into play here too. Through intercepted communications, she sowed confusion among opposing teams, spreading rumors, forging temporary alliances, and feeding misinformation. Their opponents, unfamiliar with such psychological tactics, stumbled. Major conflicts and turning points. Success in the trials triggered unease among other delegates. Voraka watched with narrowed eyes. "You are difficult to read," he remarked in a private conversation with Maya. "We don't play by your rules," she replied evenly. Later, a subtle warning arrived, an attempt to sabotage Quan's biosamples. The culprit was unknown, but the message was clear. Some factions did not want humans here. Rourke's instincts proved invaluable. "We're not just guests. We're threats. Emotional and thematic beats. Despite the physical and mental pressure, the humans shared moments of laughter and camaraderie. Quan joked about Florida-level chaos as a comparison for the trials. Sophia reflected on the irony of proving humanity's worth by surviving alien-designed death traps. Maya, usually reserved, allowed herself a rare smile after the final trial. "We're alive," she said simply. "And not just alive, we're relevant." World building. Alien perspectives and Earth's uniqueness. The trials illuminated cultural differences. Many species valued brute strength or specialized evolution. Humans thrived on versatility. Alien commentators whispered that Earth's evolutionary path, full of unpredictable catastrophes, diverse threats, and social upheaval, had forged a species uniquely equipped to face extremes. The summit's political undercurrent thickened. The humans were no longer a curiosity. They were a contender. Closing scene. That night, in the quiet moments before rest, the team gathered in their quarters. Maya broke the silence. "They think this is the endgame." "No," Sophia said softly. "It's the opening move." Rourke checked his gear. "Then let's make sure they don't forget the humans." Quan smiled, eyes shining with wonder. "Because this is just the beginning." The black hole outside churned in ominous silence, a reminder that in this summit, survival was never guaranteed. But humanity had already proven one truth. When cornered, humans adapt. And they fight. Opening scene, unseen threats. The aftermath of the trials left a charged atmosphere in Chokthoruk Station. The initial curiosity and condescension toward humanity had transformed into wary respect and dangerous jealousy. In the glowing corridors of the summit's core, Maya Rennick and her team gathered for a confidential briefing with Ambassador Sophia Dower. "We've rattled some cages," Sophia began. "Several factions feel threatened by humans. Some have tried subtle sabotage, but it's likely there are deeper plots afoot." Maya's gaze hardened. "What's our next move?" Sophia laid out their precarious position. They were guests but clearly now competitors. The summit was as much a political chessboard as a gathering, and the next phase would be negotiations masked as alliances. Political intrigue and cultural clashes. The summit's alien delegates gathered in grand halls, each species flaunting their culture and military might. The Shar Collective, led by Vorak Ka, embodied a warrior caste philosophy. Strength above all. Their code saw humans as an unpredictable nuisance, but a useful one, for now. Opposing them were the Var, insectoid tacticians led by Ziktisich, masters of espionage and subterfuge. They whispered dark rumors about humanity's rapid rise and questioned whether Earth's history was too volatile to trust. Meanwhile, the Solari, a silicon-based lifeform with ancient wisdom, viewed humanity's adaptability as a double-edged sword, brilliant but reckless. Sophia's role was crucial. She wove fragile alliances with the Solari, exchanged veiled promises with the Var, and tried to keep the Shar from outright hostility. Key character development. Sophia's diplomatic edge. Sophia spent hours analyzing alien customs, languages, and unspoken cues. In a pivotal scene, she attends a secretive cultural exchange with the Solari elders, learning the meaning behind their geometric tattoos, symbols of trust and betrayal. During this exchange, Sophia reveals a personal story about Earth's own painful history of war and reconciliation. Her honesty softens the Solari's stance, and she secures their tentative support. This moment marks Sophia's growth from a cautious diplomat into a skilled negotiator, who understands that vulnerability can be strength. Major conflict. An assassination attempt. The summit's delicate balance shatters when a high-ranking Var official is assassinated during a public debate. The alien delegates explode into accusations and chaos. Fingers point at the humans, predictably given their sudden prominence. Maya and Rourke scramble to secure their team and investigate. Their military experience helps them navigate the sudden security lockdown and identify signs of a more complex plot. In a tense, suspenseful sequence, Maya discovers evidence that points not to humans, but to a rogue faction within the Shar collective attempting to frame humanity to regain control of the summit. Tactical and strategic thinking. Using a combination of intelligence gathered from Sophia's diplomatic channels and Rourke's fieldcraft, the team crafts a bold plan. They expose the Shar faction's conspiracy by intercepting a covert transmission, decoding alien ciphers, and broadcasting the truth during the summit's grand assembly. This move shocks the delegates and forces a temporary truce, but also marks the humans as political power players. Emotional and thematic beats. The assassination and ensuing chaos take a toll on the team's morale. Maya confides in Sophia. Every time we make progress, someone tries to pull the rug out. It's exhausting. Sophia replies. We're playing their game, but on our terms. That's the difference. Rourke, ever the pragmatist, reminds them of the stakes. If we falter, Earth's future in the compact ends here. Quan offers a quiet, hopeful perspective. We've survived worse than political assassinations. It's the human spirit that will outlast them. Their camaraderie deepens, a blend of resolve, hope, and defiant humor. World building. The summit as a microcosm. The summit itself becomes a character, a living, breathing entity where culture, politics, and survival collide. Its architecture reflects alien biology and technology. Organic walls pulse softly, corridors shift shape based on collective moods, and ambient light changes to indicate tension levels. Through dialogue and observation, readers learn more about each alien species' worldview, evolutionary history, and their perception of humanity. Climactic scene, the summit assembly. At the height of tension, the summit assembly convenes. Maya steps forward to deliver a powerful address, not just defending humanity but asserting their right to be counted as equals. Her speech emphasizes classic HFY themes. Humanity's ingenuity and resilience born from surviving a hostile world. The value of unpredictability in diplomacy and conflict. The strength of camaraderie forged through adversity. Her words resonate with many delegates, turning the tide of opinion. Closing scene, a new status. The chapter closes with the summit reaching a fragile consensus. Humans are granted observer status with rights to participate fully in future summits. Voraka's icy glare softens slightly, a grudging acknowledgement that humans have earned their place. Back in their quarters, the team celebrates cautiously, aware that the real challenges lie ahead. Maya looks out toward the swirling black hole and whispers, "They invited us here thinking it was a mistake. They're about to learn how wrong they were." Opening scene, rising stakes. The summit was no longer just a test. It was a battlefield of ideas, power, and survival. The fragile alliance formed after the assassination attempt had barely settled when new intelligence reached Maya and her team. A shadow faction within the Shar collective was planning a final gambit to expel humans permanently, by force. The stakes had never been higher. Humans were not only fighting for survival but for recognition and respect in a galaxy that had long underestimated them. Maya stood at the observation deck of Choktharuk Station, staring into the eerie glow of the black hole's event horizon. The light bent and twisted, reflecting the chaos brewing within the summit. "This ends now," she muttered. Preparing for conflict. Sophia convened an emergency meeting with the human delegation. "We're diplomats, but this summit won't be won on words alone," Sophia warned. Rourke checked weapons and tactical gear smuggled in under diplomatic cover. Time to remind them humans are more than negotiators. Quan prepared a biological and technological arsenal, improvised defenses and environmental tools based on Earth's Deathworld ecology. Maya's leadership shone as she coordinated their strategy. Unlike any other species present, the humans combined guerrilla tactics, improvisation, and raw adaptability. The ambush. Just as the summit reconvened in the central dome for a final vote on humanity's status, alarms blared. The Shar faction launched a coordinated assault. Walls morphed into traps. Gravity fields shifted violently. Alien weapons fired lethal pulses. Delegates scrambled, some hiding, others fighting back. Maya's team moved like shadows, using their knowledge of the labyrinth's shifting physics to navigate and counterattack. Rourke led close-quarters defense, while Quan sabotaged environmental controls to destabilize enemy forces. Sophia brokered uneasy ceasefires, leveraging her alliances to prevent total bloodshed. Tactical brilliance and human ingenuity. The humans' ability to think on their feet turned the tide. Where the Shah relied on overwhelming force and honor-bound direct combat, humans employed distraction, deception, and rapid adaptation. Maya ordered traps made from makeshift materials. A coating of bioluminescent moss turned into blinding light bursts, acid sprays harvested from fungal spores, and gravity shifts exploited as deadly pitfalls. Their guerrilla tactics confused and demoralized the Shah forces, who had underestimated the unpredictability of their opponents. Character growth. Maya and Rourke's bond. In the heat of battle, Maya and Rourke shared moments of raw vulnerability. Rourke, wounded but unyielding, joked through gritted teeth. "Next time, remind me why I signed up for Deathworld diplomacy." Maya smiled grimly. "Because you're the best damn soldier we've got." Their camaraderie embodied humanity's strength, trust forged through adversity. Major turning point. The unexpected ally. Just as the Shah faction seemed poised to overwhelm, a surprise intervention arrived. The Solari elders, inspired by Sophia's earlier diplomatic breakthrough, activated an ancient security system embedded in the station's architecture. Massive crystalline constructs rose, emitting powerful energy fields that neutralized the Shah's weaponry. The Solari leader approached Maya. "You have proven yourself worthy, human. The galaxy needs your kind. Not for war, but for balance." This unexpected support shocked the summit and shifted power dynamics irreversibly. Emotional and thematic beats. Amid the chaos, the humans reflected on what had brought them here. Sophia whispered, "We carry Earth with us. Its history of hardship, hope, and relentless spirit." Quan, tending to wounds, mused, "We are not just survivors. We are creators of our destiny." Maya's closing thought before the battle's end was simple. "They invited us here to die. Instead, we came to claim our place." Climactic conclusion. The Shah faction was defeated and stripped of power. The summit's final vote was unanimous. Humans were recognized as full members of the Galactic Compact, granted rights and responsibilities equal to the oldest species. Maya delivered a stirring speech. "We did not come here to conquer, but to coexist. Our strength lies not in domination but in our resilience, our creativity, and our humanity. Today we stand not as guests or curiosities, but as equals." The delegates erupted in applause, some reluctant but many inspired. World building, a new era. The summit's conclusion marked the dawn of a new era. Earth was no longer an isolated death world but a respected member of an interstellar community. The Galactic Compact promised shared knowledge, technology, and mutual defense. Humanity's unique perspective on survival and adaptation became a valued asset. Closing scene. Looking ahead. Back on Earth, Maya, Sophia, Rourke, and Quan watched the stars from the Artemis Ascendant. Sophia smiled. "They underestimated humans. Big mistake." Rourke chuckled. "You think they've learned?" Maya's eyes shone with determination. "They will," Quan added softly. "This is only the beginning." As the shuttle ascended toward the stars, the team knew humanity's true journey had just begun. "Would you like me to help you with anything else? Maybe a short story summary, character bios, or world-building notes?"